Hello, welcome to my studio. Now today I'm going to be giving a demonstration of how to paint clouds. I'm going to be breaking it down and really simplifying the process. And honestly, you really only need 3 colors to follow along and do this. Ultramarine blue, white, and cadmium orange. And now you can use any mediums with this. I happen to be using oils in my demonstration, but you can use watercolors, acrylics, gouache, whatever you have and want to use, you can use it. I will link below the exact colors that I'm using, the brands I'm using. I do happen to also use small amounts of yellow as well as purple, and I'll link those below. But like I said before, you really only need 3 colors, and that's all you need. Clouds are all about creating great subtlety and being able to mix really dark neutral colors and then having just really subtle transitions. And I'm going to be showing you how to go about and do that. So let's get started. All right, so I start the painting by just doing a brief sketch on my canvas here that already has a light wash on it. So I've kind of stained it with some yellow ochre and burnt umber to get rid of the white of the canvas. And then I get into putting some blue for the sky, and you can see my sketch really is very, in a way it's kind of messy because it's rather formless because we are working with clouds. And I'm allowing myself a lot of liberty to kind of change the painting as well as we go. In a way, that's part of the beauty of working with clouds, is that you can change things and move things around really easily. Now you can see I have some clear values happening, which is really important to do right at the beginning of a painting. So you can see how the lighter blue part of the sky, then a darker blue at the top. And now I'm working on the white of the cloud here, which is of course the lightest part of the painting. So in a way I have 3 main values. I have a light, medium, and dark happening, and kind of a sense of light right from the beginning that I can then build off of as I continue on with the painting. And then of course also delve into the shadow area of the cloud, and you can see I've really developed the painting in the same manner of working with lighter areas and then darker areas. And I mix up those darker shadow cloud areas by mixing some ultramarine blue with cadmium orange, then mixing of course some white in that because otherwise it would be too dark. So that creates a beautiful neutral color that works really well for these shadow areas in clouds. You can also see here the very bottom part of the painting is the lightest blue, and then the top part is the darkest area, and that's because that is the part of the sky that's actually closest to you, and then the lighter area is furthest away in space. So you can really create a sense of space when painting clouds, and it's really important to do so because clouds do have volume and they have a sense of geometry about them, even though we think of them and see them as being really soft and fluffy, but still you want to give them that sense of space and that just volumetric feeling. And little by little, as I develop the painting here, I'm working on creating sharper areas and softer areas. And you can see I use my hand a lot to rub the paint in certain areas to soften the edges, and then in some areas I try to make them sharper. But of course, I first and foremost do this by mixing up really light value colors and dark value colors. And of course, darker value colors will create those sharper edges. You can see here, I'm reinforcing kind of that shadow area in the cloud. And of course, you can see it's creating slightly sharper edges in that area. So it's standing out just a little bit more. And you'll see this kind of develop and evolve as I work on that in the painting. So you can really quickly build up a lot of these just main value areas, those light, medium, dark value areas, but then kind of the more difficult part of painting clouds kind of comes in developing these really subtle transitions between different areas, between, let's say, the shadow part of the cloud and then the more lighter areas of the cloud. You need those to be really soft transitions because if you just remind yourself when you look at clouds, you'll just notice how incredibly subtle just everything about the clouds are. And of course that it depends upon the weather conditions, because sometimes you look at storm clouds, you know, it's going to be starker than if you look at clouds on a beautiful sunny day. So it also, of course, is dependent upon what the clouds are like, but overall, clouds are incredibly subtle in their value transitions, in their color transitions, and it's a great study to sensitize yourself to just mixing up those really, really subtle areas and learning how to do that. For example, you can see here I have that darker shadow area in the cloud, and then I have a color spot on the right there that's just above it, and I'm just rubbing my finger kind of to soften that edge between that kind of medium value area, then the lighter part of the cloud. So you can see that kind of just basic transition between darker, medium to light. And that's the basic transitions that you need to make when you paint clouds. You just need to mix them up so that they work well and really fluidly transition from one area to the next. After you work on really capturing some of those more subtle transitions, you can start pulling out some of the lighter areas in the cloud and start kind of reinforcing those a little bit more. In general, you don't want to paint your highlight areas in the beginning part of the painting process. Rather, you want to save it more for later on. Now, you of course don't want to neglect your sky while you're paying a lot of attention to your clouds, because you want your clouds to feel like they're part of the sky. You don't want it to feel like this kind of weird sort of paper cutout kind of thing that's just pasted onto a blue background. It has to really feel integrated to feel really natural and part of the sky. So you can see here again, kind of lightening this area because we really want there to be this fluid transition between a darker area at the top and then lighter at the bottom, but it also of course be very natural. When you look at the sky, it's really good actually to just look at nature, look at real life. So when you look at the sky outside, you'll notice that the sky that's further away from you, when you look up, it's lighter in value. And the part of the sky that's closer to you is darker. And we want to reflect that in our painting as well. Again, we want to create that volumetric feel, that feeling like this is something that is existing in real space and time. Now, when working on a painting, it's always important to be open to changing a painting a lot if it means that it will improve it. So I was realizing that my shadow areas on my clouds were a bit too dark. It was kind of, in a way, killing it. Not fully killing it, but it was sort of. It was just too stark. And so I'm softening those shadow areas, again, using that ultramarine blue and cadmium orange to create that really kind of more subtle transition. I'm of course mixing white with that as well and creating very, very, very soft areas. And then in some of the lighter areas of the cloud, the kind of top part of the cloud, I am mixing some yellow into that color to creating these very warm areas that are the top part of the cloud. And I also do mix a very small amount of purple with that to kind of mute it just a little bit, because of course just mixing white with yellow, it would be a bit too stark, a bit too bright. I save that for the very lightest areas of the cloud. Now after going into it and lightening some of those shadow areas, I then also darken some areas to kind of readjust it a little bit, kind of the lower part of the cloud, but now I'm going back to lightening those areas again. So it really can often be this back and forth thing that's very normal. It's a lot of, in a way, trial and error, because you're just working with things, you're moving things around, you're looking at it as you take a step back to see if that works or not, and then coming forward and adjusting it a little bit further. Now that I'm happy with where the large transitioned areas are at, so how the darker value moves into the medium area, then the light area of the cloud, I can now get into more of those smaller, kind of more quote-unquote detail parts of this cloud. And you can see here I'm working on that really kind of more subtle transition area between the darker area than the medium area. I mixed some yellow into that color. Now I'm moving up above into the cloud that's kind of more in that corner, mixing up a darker value. Here I also used a small amount of yellow in that color, but used cadmium orange, mixed it with ultramarine blue, then also mixed in a little bit of yellow along with a small amount of purple. Again, I'm gonna list all of the colors and the exact paints that I'm using in their brands. You can see that in the description box below. And here I'm kind of capturing more the exact shape of this cloud. You can keep things a little bit more formless as you go through the painting, but then kind of as you wrap things up and are kind of coming more to a completion, you really want to try to capture some specific shape in certain areas, especially areas that are closer to you. So remember, this area kind of at the top part of the painting is closer to us in space, and so that part of the cloud can be, some areas can be a little bit more clear to kind of create that feeling like it's a little bit closer to us. Now moving to the left side of the painting here and really working on mixing up a particular color. I realized it's a little bit too dark in value, so went back and made this a little bit lighter. And it's important to pay attention to cool and warm colors when working with clouds. When you look at real clouds in your sky, you will notice that these color temperature differences do exist there. You'll notice how sometimes the clouds are very, very warm in color temperature, or they shift to be slightly cooler in color temperature. And when you pay attention to this and really apply it in your painting, it just brings your painting to another level. Kind of doing that allows you to really feel and sense the kind of weather that's going on in the cloud that you're painting, what the type of day it is, if it's really, really sunny or if it's just a little overcast. That's what makes the difference. And so do pay attention to those color temperature changes and differences. And you don't want to just pay attention to those color temperature changes in the shadow areas, but also in the light part of the painting. So in some areas they might be a little bit more orangey, or they may be a little bit more yellowish. Now here I'm really working on adding some of those lighter elements to the blue sky. Sometimes you see these just really soft light cloud areas that are barely there. So that's what I'm working with here. Now the beauty of doing this is that you can apply all these steps and everything that I talked about in this video demonstration to any type of cloudscape. So have fun with it and practice applying it to your own painting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. Here's the finished painting. It's a little difficult to see because it's, of course, very wet and fresh off the easel. If you'd like any more information about how to paint clouds, check out my article on my website, artstudiolife.com. It's the exact link to the article is linked below in the description box. You can go check that out. All the materials I used in this demo are linked below as well. The brushes, the paints, the linen, the easel. You can find that all below in the description box. Now, if you have any questions at all, please do let me know in the comment section below. Or if you'd just like to say hi, I love hearing from you. I'll see you in the next video.